It's another beautiful day, and I'd like to welcome you all to a continuation of our program on religious intolerance, the need for a rethink. We are witnesses to precarious situations that we are finding ourselves. Issue of political violence, religious violence, kidnapping, intolerance in the area of ethnicity. Even it has also dovetailed to gender issues, where men and women can no longer see to each other's eyes because they feel that one is so superior to the other. And we started discussing the issue, and we stopped at a point where Jami Felani was advancing some of the reasons why certain things are happening. So, Jami Felani, before we continue, let me welcome Arojolu Ayo back to the stage. And I also want to welcome Barrister Kayode Aderebi. So, thank you for coming together once again this week. And I'm going to start with you. I'd like you to continue with your take on why is it that level of consciousness is helping some people to go negative and others being positive and allowing peace to reign in society.
Okay, level of consciousness. Religion, some scholars call it the opium of the masses. Our understanding and analysis of issue itself can determine whether it will be resolved or not. When you talk about religion, when you talk about politics, when you talk about democracy, when you talk about different ideologies, on most occasions these are not the problem, but the implementation and those that are professing it. So on that basis, one of the solutions to issue of religious intolerance is proper education, and he alluded to that. And when you have right education, you will be able to respect, whether we like it or not, for any solution to come by, there must be mutual respect. Where there is absence of mutual respect, then there will be a disagreement. In order to avoid that, we must learn to understand the peculiarity of one another. Whether we call it red line or not, we have freedom of religion. And it is mandatory for every one of us to respect another person's religion. But to now express your fear, express your displeasure, you must not go beyond what the ground norm, the 1999 Constitution stipulated. Just like he mentioned, he said the ground norm of Nigeria is 1999 Constitution. It is also wrong for anyone to insult another person's religion. And when you put it side by side, when you insult another person's religion and you kill, which one is heavier? Killing is heavier. So you cannot say stop because someone insults your religion or the sensibility of your religion, you kill. So that's wrong. Then education, it matters a lot. And one of the advocacy that is rampant in Southwest, maybe some people say it's one-sided, is that let us understand the religious belief of all. When you understand the religious belief of all, you will not unnecessarily violate another person's rights to his own belief. But for example, someone said, he alluded to it, maybe it's a joke, that Sharia is something that is bad, that is wrong. If we had truly understanding of Islam, I said maybe what you alluded to, if we truly understand what Sharia is, it is because people misinterpreted it. Just like we are mentioning that because soldiers put on armed robbers use gun, that our police should not use gun. Because armed robbers use camouflage of army uniform, does that mean that we should not use it? It's not that Christianity is bad. It's not that Islam is bad. It's those that claim to be adherent of this religion. On most occasions, they use it to achieve selfish agenda. And without us knowing, people make themselves available as tool of religious intolerance without them knowing. So the most important thing for us here is to have proper understanding of all religion. Whether as a Muslim, when I was in secondary school, I was taught a lot of Bible's knowledge. But how many of our Christian counterparts even know about Islam? Some Muslims don't even know about Christianity too. So until we know and have knowledge about the doctrine of our religion, we will know how to respect it. Some are innocent. Some are innocent. Some will insult your religious belief innocently without knowing. So, and understanding the root cause of problem, dissecting it very well is also part of the solution. On most occasions when crisis happen like this, our dissection is religious belief. What happened in Sokoto is unfortunate. Those that killed Deborah, they are criminals, just like those that killed Aria and Fatima. Fatima is one of the daughter that was also killed. It's not the mother. She was 9 months pregnant and she was killed together with her children. That is inhuman. And when you look at it, on most occasions, what we look at is, okay, it belongs to this religion, it belongs to that. The cause of the problem is, it is a societal problem, not because of religion. Anyone, excuse me, just a minute, okay. Anyone, those in the north that perpetrated that evil might hide under religion, but it's a societal problem. Jungle justice is not peculiar to Christianity or Islam. It's a societal problem. Until we identify that and address the challenge of jungle justice.
Yes, and that takes me to legal experts. There's justice for wrongdoings. There's justice for this kind of development. Why is it taking government or the arms of the government that is responsible for ensuring justice in this kind of situation? Why is it taking them so long to come up with appropriate action?
Because they are complicit. They are complicit.
How?
I will give you life examples. In Ogun State, for example, we have people that the state sponsors for pilgrimage.
Okay.
Why? That of all religions, they picked us too. Why? That means, as an atheist, if I don't believe in God, by law, I must still pay tax. So why should you use my tax to sponsor one pastor to Jerusalem? That is state religion. That is unfair. That is unlawful. We've talked about people from India. I learned there are over 3,000 gods in China. We have Chinese in this place. They pay taxes as foreigners, in some cases higher than us. Why has the country focused so much on these two? Until the government is complicit for the reason I've stated, until they de-emphasize. The government has no business. You want to go to Mecca, bye-bye, good luck. You want to go to Jerusalem, bye-bye, good luck. To use people's taxes, my sweat, to sponsor someone to go there, it contravenes, it violates the laws of the land. So the government is mostly complicit in this. They should de-emphasize all these things. And before in Ogun State, there was a red line, using the words of my brother again, every last Saturday of the month. The red line was from 7 a.m., don't go out. Now, people were arrested many times. They were convicted, some thrown into prison, some asked to do non-custodial services. Red line was taken off since last year. So, by doing that, that issue was de-escalated. Now, the law is what my brother has stated, that is Mr. Jamiu, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Alaji Jamiu. Mr. Alaji Jamiu. If you insult someone's religion, I've told us last week, it is punishable under the law. In jurisprudence, when I was in part 5 in law, there was a topic we handled. The topic is what the law is versus what the law ought to be. Yes. The law is what it is now, really. But anyway, what it ought to be is that all those things should be taken off. If I keep on reading a part of a scriptural creed, and like he said last week, I continue to misunderstand it, then review it. If you are reading a particular law, and the moment once people read that law, most times they kill. That means there's something about the way it was drafted. We can't continue to say that it's not about religion, it's about those that practice it. As long as what they read is what is confusing them, most likely there may be a problem with that thing. Maybe that's why, like I said, I'm not for Christianity, I'm not for Islam, as far as this program is concerned. I'm trying to be very, very neutral. Maybe that was why, after a while, there was a New Testament. Because I read the Quran to some point, I read the Bible to some point. I even read about some religion in India at some point. In the Old Testament, for example, in the Bible, if you blaspheme, you'll be stoned to death. Leviticus and all that. But later, that changed. I read also that in the Quran, that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was insulted while praying.
That's not the insult. That's not a red line.
Yeah, the insult was worse than that. Was worse than that. What Deborah did.
And he didn't allow him.
No, he didn't. So what are we talking about? Same thing for Jesus Christ. I read the Bible as well. He was slapped. They plucked his beard. He had to confound Uberoja. He didn't. In fact, one of his disciples was angry, brought out a knife, cut somebody's head. That's red line. I mean, don't touch my boss. Red line. For what I read, he picked the ear and he healed the person back, meaning let there be peace. So we should begin to. I have traveled to some countries in the world by the grace of God. Which God now? I don't know. But I've traveled. I don't want to say this side. But then my point is that the law is what we have stated. But if you want to have greater peace, the government should scrap that pilgrimage board. They have no business, except they want to send people to Oshun Festival, send people to Shango Festival too, people to India.
I'm about asking Arojolu that because according to Barrister, he said government is complicit. And do you agree?
I agree with him. I align with his views. You see, let me tell you, for emphasis first, I never said Sharia is not good. But Sharia is good for Muslims. But is Nigeria a nation of Muslims alone? Is Nigeria a religious?
Is Nigeria even for Muslims and Christians alone?
That is it.
So what about
for that reason, you don't now come and do selectivity. You know, we are talking about consciousness.
Okay.
People lack conscience again. The people who are supposed to dance the tension, they are speaking tongue in cheek. Now, the touchy issues of Nigeria, the reason why Nigeria has not moved forward is that these touchy issues, you say, no, you must not speak the truth. They are very delicate. See, truth, you can't do anything against the truth, but for the truth. What has happened over there, it will continue to happen because of so-called red lines. Now, of all clerics who spoke, our president, not that they didn't speak, they made statements, but those statements are like say-nothing statements. But I have a viral video of an affair. He caused people who killed Deborah. Not only that, he caused Muslims who believe that Deborah, who are justifying. That's how to go. That's the way to go. You see, and as far you asked about, you said something just now.
I said, what about the traditionalists?
That's what no religion is superior to anyone. Because at the end of the day, even in the Bible, there's a place they spoke about religion. Religion is different from, from the way of salvation. Religion,
okay, maybe that's where
religion is a moral thing.
Adherence of this.
That's where they are missing it. If you want to be religion, take care of orphans, do some things. That's it. That's one. True religion, you cannot gain acceptation. What we are saying is that people should be conscious. You know, that I saw somewhere, there's a university here in Ogun State, and they now wanted to stylishly bring, introduce women wearing veils, and that's going to cause trouble. They want to enter the gate and say, no, you can't search them. Even in Saudi Arabia, if you are fully veiled, they don't allow you to enter some public places. I don't know the kind of Islam we are practicing in Nigeria. We cannot be more holier than the Pope. They do civilized things there. So, and they say you cannot search them during exam. How do we know who is inside the veil? And when the matter was brought up in that Senate, even the so-called leaders of one of the, they cannot speak because they are afraid. You see, when religion becomes an instrument of coercion.
But we have seen that religion has affected us seriously, and that has brought the intolerance we are talking about.
Exactly.
And we have also seen that it's affecting our public life.
It is.
It's affecting our economy. It's affecting even relationships.
That's exactly why I have said, look, it is we who should know. You say, when you say somebody insults somebody, not in this, you cannot be saying that in this, not in this century.
Let me ask Jami Folari, religious intolerance, how can we use it, how can we change in a way that our security situation will be positive? I ask that question because we have seen that it has started creating violence, religious violence.
So what I identify is what I term personal sense of responsibility. We must all have personal sense of responsibility. And until we ask ourselves as individuals, give analysis of, if this is done to me, how will I feel? Do I have proper understanding of what I'm talking about? The worst thing for any individual.
I think that is the role of the religious leaders.
The worst thing for
are they up to their responsibility?
For worst thing for any individual is to dabble and talk about what he has little knowledge about. It will create more problem than solution. So the most important thing for us is, as individuals, don't let us focus only on government. On most occasions, just like I mentioned, when we dissect problems and we fail to dissect it very well, we will offer solutions that will even create more problems.
Let me ask.
So as a result of that,
let me ask you this question. It's a follow-up question.
Okay.
We have leaders in both religion. Do they come together to assess and critique utterances, statements, sermons that are delivered to check for societal sanity? Do we have that in place?
If I could recall, I think it was in Kaduna where Malam El Rufai suggested that there should be regulation of preaching, and there was something that in Lagos too, there was a proposal that there should be regulation. And I remember then people talk about violation of the fundamental human rights of the clerics. And whether we like it or not, you talk about preaching, you talk about a responsibility of a religious leader. We have what we call different organizations and institutions and groups. We have interfaith religious organization where Christians and Muslims leaders come together. The unfortunate part is that even some Muslims, Christians leaders contributed more to what we have as security challenge resulting from the so-called religious issue. There have been issues with misinterpretation of what is my own religion, what is your own religion. Rather than focusing on what binds us together, why do we emphasize more on what divides us? And if you look at even interfaith organization, look at CONT, look at NSIA, you find out that they are the ones that are supposed to bring Muslims and Christians together, but they fight among themselves. When something happens to a Christian, it's caused by a Muslim. When something bad happens to a Muslim, it's caused by a Christian. And those that will even be the mouthpiece are the head of these organizations. So until we have a situation where we all have sense of personal responsibility, whether as government, whether as individual, so that we will not, you call it red line, you call it all manners of name. It's not about the name, it's about whether we like it or not, until we respect ourselves. If you don't respect me, that does not mean that I will not respect you. But what is most important is mutual respect. We can call it red line. We might call the perception of what we are even term red line. Maybe you have wrong perception about it. It's not something that when you do, you must be killed. Maybe that's what you are having a perception about. What I mean by red line, as a matter of conceptual clarification, is what you will do that will offend me. Why will you deliberately offend me? Because you have freedom of expression. So
the question would have been said,
why will you
let's head to death.
You are talking about Deborah. Do you ever talk about what happened in Sokoto?
No. What I'm saying,
let's go legal. Because you are expressing your opinion, but we also gather.
He will also express his opinion.
But technically, from the point of law, and we know that you can be assured of that. Barrister, I am worried, and my area of concern is that we also have NGOs who are inclined legally to correct situations in our environment, who are supposed to come up with support. And we also, I also know that Nigerian Bar Association are also try as much as even lawyers independently also come up when these situations arise. Are the legal people doing enough?
Yes, well, maybe not enough, because if I say enough, that means there's no room for improvement. There should always be room for improvement. But you know, in the midst of all this discussion, you know, when you invited me for this program, what I had in my mind and still have in my mind is, what can we do to get out of this problem? What can we do to get out of this problem? For me, I agree with what Mr. Jami Fulani has said. I agree with what Mr. Yoharu Dolu has said. All right, because one solution may not fix it all, so it can be a combination of all. But something agitates my mind as I was driving down. I asked myself a question. Can you mention one country, you said a fact checker, sir, in the world where religion made them prosper? One. Meanwhile, we've had religious wars that has led to the death of millions over the years. So we see that this thing we are even talking about.
Hiding under religion or truly religious war.
Yeah.
That's the perception.
Okay,
I will hide under religion it was truly religious.
Let me take your words.
No,
hiding under religion. I agree. But my point is, it is about putting right policies in place, making life important for citizens. So I'm thinking the country should de-emphasize that. The country should de-emphasize it. Like I said last week, and I'm repeating now, the issue of pilgrimage board should be scrapped. Because once we are doing that, you are already tacitly saying one religion, that is those two religions talking about, are superior to others. Why don't we have a Shango person here seated? Why don't we have the Krishna man on this seat? So oftentimes we see that the government has, from examples I've given, and of course facts are there, strengthened and supported these two ones, and we should de-emphasize. So MBA is trying. That's why I'm here. For me, I think we should
They should do more than that.
It's dividing us more than it's uniting us.
Well, thank you very much. I really want to say that we all need to put our hands on deck to ensure that we do away with religious intolerance. If you look at Dubai, you can see religion of diverse angle. People being free to operate, and the country is blooming. In Saudi Arabia too, you can see that they accommodate. It's an issue of accommodation. And of course, until we imbibe the spirit of accommodation, Nigeria will not grow. To our leaders, let us accommodate ourselves. To the community people, let us accommodate ourselves. To the religious leaders too, let us be fair, let us be open. Let us know that life is important. I want to thank you so much for coming back this time around to conclude on this, even though we see our other areas that can do. So, Ayo Arojolu, I appreciate you for coming.
Thank you.
Jami Folani,
It's been cool here.
it's nice having you.
Thank you for having
Despite all your opinions, all we want is peace, mutual relationship, mutual cohabitation. The law, yeah, we want you to continue to give us the legal aspect, legal perspective to all these issues, and then we believe that the NBA too will do more. Even individual lawyers will also come up with more responsibilities to safeguarding life, protecting all that we have in life.
Yeah, I was thinking you will practicalize it, that they will shake hands, two of them.
Okay. As I do it, so also people in the community in Nigeria, please embrace each other and let us live in peace.
Nothing works up our emotions like